It's starting to look like a cat. Alright, so let's zoom in. Got a lot of stuff done here. No, I don't need to zoom in. I can zoom in digitally. Probably lose some precision or lose some clarity with a digital zoom, but you know, whatever, bro. Okay, so let's go back to our greens. We don't need this green. We do need this green. We're going back to our greens, doing the eye now. So we did the nose, and by the way, this cat is like 70% blurry. So this is blurry. And all this down here is blurry. So we're going to do that in pastels, and it'll take like 5 minutes. So it only takes a couple of hours, which is odd, considering just how much detail is in here, but sure, why not? Alright, now we're going to just replicate what we did over here. And first thing we're going to do is just go over this with this green. Again, this is a Carbothello pastel pencil, model 585. I'm going to go around. And the good thing about not making an outline first, never make an outline first. Like, don't get a black pencil and just hard outline, because if you mess it up, you can't undo it. But if I mess it up here, it's easy to undo. It's super easy to undo. So, yeah. Do this first, and that way you can sort of sneak into the outline. Now remember, we're going the direction of the veins, and we are coming back with colored pencils as well, so we've got a lot of good stuff here. Okay, so again, we're just sort of easing into this with pastels, because I can do 5 layers of pastel and then like 5 more with colored pencil. So let's zoom in nice and close. It's probably too close, but sorry for the noise. I'm moving the camera around. I'm sure that's going to sound absolutely terrible on the actual video. So I want to sneak in here with this. Alright, I like that. And again, we're sort of just making the veins here. So this is a little darker as we come in. Alright, now let's get the pupil, and again we're going to do the pupil in pastel, because if you do it in colored pencil, then we're just going to sort of do it quickly with pastel. If you do it with colored pencil, you cannot erase, but I can simply go over this pastel with another pastel and erase it, basically. So you have that power. You have the power. The power. Alright. That looks legit. And then again, up top, we're... Look at how many pencils. I have 200 pencils. I literally have 200 pencils. Now, we're going to get it blurred up here, you remember? Blurry up here because I have the white. Now we're going to get the white. And again, we're going to come in with pastel. I know I keep repeating myself. Everybody's going to hit dislike on a stupid video. Okay, he just sits here and repeats himself the whole time. This stupid pastel dude, man. Is he dumb? Why does he keep repeating himself the whole time? Why? He has to be dumb. I swear. I'm going to hit dislike on the video. Okay, so yeah, got to see that nice haze we get. That nice haze. That is really nice. Bring it up a little bit into there. That's really nice. I know that looks absolutely terrible in the video, but I swear to you, it's going to look amazing. All right, now, come back here and be a little OCD. I am a Virgo, so OCD is, just a natural part of my personality. And I do need to get this green and sort of come out of here with that. Yeah, like that. And then we have a little green coming into the white. And then we have the green above the white. Okay, it looks good. That looks good. And then we're going to get the colored pencil and come in. Alright, that's good. Let's get rid of... It's making the pupil look massive. Let's get rid of that. Okay, now we're going to come in with the yellow. And we have a lot of different yellows. I don't really want to waste time with the pastel yellow because this area is so freaking small, man. So I got my 3 yellows, my 3 colored pencil yellows. And they are beige, sand, and cream. Beige, sand, and cream. Why does it say sand sable? Anyway, I want to get the sand. I want to come in here and make a little bit of that yellow pattern that we have in here. I don't want to press too hard. Alright. I want to get the lighter color, which is going to be cream. I think we got the pupil a bit too much. So we're going to come in here and just minimize the pupil at this point. See, I can do that with pastel yellow, like I said before. So let me get the pastel yellow and reduce the size of that pupil because it's too much. Because we did it in pastel, we can erase. This is the good part. Okay, I think we're good. Now we're going to come back in with the cream. And we have a lot of bright yellow in here. I'll make sure and sort of represent that here. That looks good. Now we want to come in with a colored pencil. So now I kind of figured out where the pupil is supposed to be and how big it's supposed to be. So now we can come in and just sort of solidify where the pupil is. So it looks like it should be about that big. I think that's legit. Alright, so we got the cream on the outside of the pupil. Looks good. And then we just sort of want to get this little cream, put it kind of on the outside there as well. Alright, now we want to get the white colored pencil. Now we're going to come in and sort of finalize the glaze. Finalize the glaze like that. That looks good. And then around that glaze, I'm going to get the darker, actually I want to get the green. I want to get that, where the hell did I put the green? Oh, I have not gotten the green yet. Okay. So I want to get the green from over here. And I want to get that green that we had before, which is kind of a duller, darker green. So that is olive green. Get the olive green. And we're on the colored pencil stage. We're going to come in and get that vein look across there. And we're going to sneak into the white just a little bit. And again, going to get that high detail coming out of there as we come through here. There we go. And that yellow needs to bring in here a little bit. So we have the veins sort of coming in. We press a little harder and get that. Then we're going to come back with the green and get this. So I think that's legit. I think that looks legit. So let's back out. And basically that looks pretty good. So obviously, I mean, at this point we need to start going around the eye with the colored pencil. Now that I've sort of firmed up where I think that the eye should start and end, I think that this is legit. So now we're going to come through here and just stop there. Okay, so that looks legit. And at this point, we need to come in with a black and just sort of get a little darker tone right through here. Like that. So that looks pretty good. Alright, now you got to be careful around there because there's no, like, there's no line. Instead, you're going to come around here. Like that. That looks good. And then around there we have a gray. It's like a brownish gray. We'll come in with the dark yellow. Just sort of make this gray. Like that. And then come in with the black. And just sort of make this unique color that we have around here. That looks pretty good. And then around that it's all white. So I'm going to get a color pencil. And this is literally bright white. We're going to get our white colored pencil. Just sort of come through here. Like that. Like that. Looks pretty good. Need to sort of firm this out a little bit. Alright, pretty cool. And we got a little bit of white right in here. Like that. Alright, that looks cool. Again, we got a little white, like right there, and we got black coming out. So we already sort of have that black, but I want to reinforce it by doing this. Like that, give it a little eyelash on the little kitty. There we go. And then we have cream, sort of this cream color as we sort of come out here. Like that. And then we sort of stretch that out there. Anyway, so that is the cat's eye. I think everything looks tight except for just the glaze that needs to be around here. Like that. So, yeah. So let's back out and take a look at what it looks like. And I think that looks great. Alright, still watching football. Sorry for the background noise, but we're going in here with some pastels. I want to sort of show you how we're going to combine those. So this is a really bright white right here. We're going to come in with a bright white. Pastel, you can use your favorite brand. It really doesn't matter. But the whole thing is not bright white, just those sections right here. So we're coming in with those sections and just getting it like that. Same thing kind of here. We have just sort of this bright white piece there. And then right here, and we're just going to sort of, you know, make sure and sort of chill this out over on this side. But that looks pretty good. And there's also a gray that we need to sort of install over on the other end. So we're going to get this darker gray pastel. And it's almost a brown basically. And we're just going to sort of come in here and sort of nick this area right here and get that installed there. So that's just a darker area. Again, we came in here with the colored pencil, and now we're just sort of installing a little bit of a darker tone in there, maybe a little darker tone in here as well. So that looks pretty tight, and I think that's going to work out. So that's how you sort of just combine the pastels with the, with the colored pencil. So you can come back in obviously with the colored pencil, and just sort of smooth this out, but just sort of, you know, just sort of rubbing it and blending it in with the colored pencil basically, so it's not so harsh. So now you just make a couple of nicks on it. Now you have the lines and whatnot. So now obviously we have lines, sort of, you know, the pastel pencil sort of making a cut, or the colored pencils making stuff coming out here, and then we have that, and that's coming out there. So yeah, it looks pretty good. That's kind of what I wanted to go for here. Again, we can make a little bit more detail as far as that's concerned. So yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll come up here, sort of continue on. We got a couple of these fine lines. We're getting kind of dull on the pencil, so need to go sharpen it here in a minute. But I mean, overall that looks pretty good. And we can come back with the black colored pencil and sort of fill in the gaps, because right here we have a lot of, you know, sort of these hairs that are like that. So now we can just do this with a colored pencil basically. Just make, normally we do this with a pastel pencil, but the problem right here that we're running into is it's really small once you get to this other side of his face. His or her face, it's sort of really small, so you kind of gotta be careful there. So we're gonna come in, make some of these marks like this, and then we have, you know, sort of this couple of hairs coming out there as well, and be like you know, just sort of relaxed as far as that comes out. Make a small hairs here and there and everywhere else. So yeah, so we'll just continue doing this, and then we'll come back after we get a little more of this detail in and see what it looks like. So I said we're doing the bottom in pastel, so here's basically what we're doing. I came in with a darker gray, and it just sort of made the hair pattern that we have across here, right? So the darker gray is going to be more prominent at the point of the shadow start, which is right there. And then once we got the dark gray in the shape of the general, you know, shape of the hair right here, we're going to do this and just make it. So just use any pastel brand that you like, you know. So get that shade in there. So get hair shaped shade in there. Rub it in with our finger. And then once it's rubbed in, now we come back with a white pastel. So we are using Cretacolor, but you can use Prismacolor, you can use whatever. And now we're lightly, and I mean lightly, coming in and just barely touching the paper with this thing, right? So you don't want these fine hairs like I just did there. You don't want fine hairs, you want this blurred sort of area, but you want it, you know, in a dark type fashion. So we do that with the dark gray followed by the white. So it comes across here, and we just have that shaded area. So it looks really detailed, but faded. So it's basically blurry, right? So basically we just want a blurry hair pattern amongst the darker hair. So here you go. And then, okay, now here's the secret. Let me show you the secret right now. Here's the secret. We rub it in, so again, it's blurry. It's blurry everywhere. Okay, now you come in with a razor sharp colored pencil. Razor sharp, and you just barely touch. You just barely touch it, and that'll give you that fur. So now you have this fur pattern, or this fur texture, but don't press hard, it'll look weird. But now you see you have that fur pattern. And just make, you know, a little pattern like that. We have a bunch of hairs come in there, or come in through here. You know what I'm saying? So you have barely touching. Now you have this hint of fur, or this texture of fur, all through here, and that's going to give you, you're going to give your brain like this feeling that, yeah, I mean, there's hair coming in. Then as we come up to this lighter area, press a little harder and get that get that fur pattern there. So make sure it's not straight, make sure you're going different directions and whatnot, but yeah, so this is sort of an advanced technique on how to get this. Maybe we can get a few as we transition from that dark to that light, and then we have it through here. Maybe a couple prominent as we do the transition. And then the rest of them are just going to be super, super light. Take it easy on your hands, come in super, super light. Make sure you bunch up a few, you know, like here, just bunch up a few together so it's not all the same pattern. Anyway, so that's how you do it. So that gives you that look and it gives you that fur feel without increasing the lightness. So you keep your values the same. It's still dark, but you've maintained the darkness, but you still have that pattern or that feel of fur coming through there. So yeah, so let's back up. Let's back up a bit. And there you go. That looks pretty good. You got like that underlayer of fur there. And then we'll continue that on over here and see how that goes. So let's start on the ear. Das ear. Is it das ear? Das ear. Okay. So we're coming in with a Stabilo 670 pencil. And I just want to get some of this feel of the that red. You know, it's not pink, but it's like a little darker red. So just going to sort of get in here and rub it in there to get that. Probably should just go this way. Just sort of get that feel there. And we'll come back in with some different colors and whatnot, and darken it and all that. But I just want to get that color in there. Here we go, like that. So we got a lot of this color in here. Got a little color in here as well. Got football on, by the way. Alright. So again, we're just going to get that feel in there. And once we get that feel, that shade in there, we'll come back and put a little more color in there. So just sort of moving this along here. There we go. Looks nice. Alright, now that we have that in there, we can move along and get some of the detail. Some of the detail being, we need, I'll move back some and zoom in. I'm sure this sounds terrible, the audio. Okay, so I have this here, and then I made this mark as we sort of come along right here. Like there. Made this mark. And that looks pretty good. And then we have like this darker section here, just a little shade like that, and then it comes up here as well, a little bit of a darker shade, just barely touching this, just to get that feel in there. Because we're going to come over here and make hairs over it, but again, this is going to be very blurry, so that's good for us, because we don't have to worry a lot about the details. Alright, and then as we come up through here, we do have, you know, that dark that's sort of creeping into here, as well as the dark up here. So again, as per our prototype, we're just going to make a little bit of the hair. So we have that hair detail that's up here that's dark, and again, this area up here is going to be a little darker as well. So we're going to get, well, maybe not black, let's get a dark gray. We're going to get a dark gray pencil and just come in and darken this, because this is a little bit darker right here. So we're getting, yeah, lucky we didn't use black, because that would have looked really weird. So now we're going to come in and make this darker. And we have that darker area up here as well. Like that. But let's do the whole thing up here. So this is dark. Bring it down a shade. Like that. That looks pretty good. Again, so darker as we come up there. Like that. And then we have a little more intense red as we come up through there. And we can do that again with the red. So we're going to come in where it's a little more intense. We're just going to make a little bit of that intensity with this. Like that. That looks pretty good. Then we can sort of just massage it in, and we can get a lot of good layers out of here. Look at this. Get like 4 or 5 layers within there. So now that looks legitimately like an ear. So now we need sort of this darker area up here. We're going to get that with this, and again, rub it in, and then come in with black this time, because that's prominently dark. That's very dark. A lot of excitement on the field there. You can hear in the background. Alright, that looks pretty good. Okay, now we just come in with a colored pencil, right? We just come in with a colored pencil and make a bunch of hairs. So coming in through here, making a bunch of hairs like that. You can hear all that football action back there. Can't go wrong with football action. Anyway, so now we come in through here. Then as we come in the ear, it's blurry, so we're going to go really light. Like you can see I'm going here, but it's really light. And then up here, it's not so blurry. Then here it is blurry, so we'll go light up there, etc. So you get the idea. So let's finish the ear, then we'll come back and take a look at what else we got. We'll zoom out first so you can see sort of how everything is looking. Alright, so I'm going to watch the next football game and take a break here, rest my hand and whatnot. We made a lot of progress in just a few hours. So here I did the pastel pencil just to get the pastel, the soft look, and you can get the soft look with pastel pencils. You can't get that with colored pencils. I mean, you can do it with colored pencils, doesn't look the same. So let's talk about the blur. This is highly detailed because it's right next to the camera. This ear is not. In the picture, it's blurry. So let's zoom in and sort of take a peek at how we deal with that. Okay, so if you want a blurry line, you're going to get a pastel pencil, right? Because a pastel pencil is not going to give you a fine line. And this is Carbothello. Who's been chewing on this? I think my dog got a hold of this. Anyway, so you're going to get this. If you want a tight line with a lot of detail, you're going to use colored pencil. If you want not a tight line, a blurry line, you're going to use a pastel pencil or maybe a stick of pastel. So we can get the pastel pencil and just come in here and look, you make a blurry line. I mean, it's not that detailed. You just push soft, and you can push harder on some and make a little less of a blurry line, and on others you just sort of drag it and make a blurry line. So you get this nice combination back there. See, look at that. That looks legit real. That looks legit real. So we got our Carbothello pencil 670, and we just made a little hint of this, the pink, a little hint, not much, just a little hint. You don't want to press hard, it's going to look terrible. And again, it's blurry, right? So we have that little hint, and then in the background we have that dark. Again, we don't use colored pencil for the dark blurry. We're going to use the pastel black pencil, and just get, maybe like a little bit of that, like that, just a little blur, right? So you have that nice variance between highly detailed and not so much highly detailed. So yeah. Anyway, so that looks really good. I still think we got it covered. So we got high detailed in front and less detailed in back. And right now, wow, we did a lot. So we're going to come back after my game with my boys, and we're going to get this light color here, and then we're going to do the leg. We're going to do the kitty leg, and then we're going to come on the bottom and do the I guess that's a couch. No, that's a blanket. I don't know. It's brown. We're going to do the brown stuff on the bottom. See that stuff on the bottom? I'm prototyping the brown, but we're going to do all the brown, and we're going to do the light and the leg, and yeah, should be able to get this done today. So this looks legit. See you then. So I came back and refined his or her chin a little bit by just making it darker, right? You just want to make it darker because it didn't stand out. It looked like the whole chin area just went whoop. So then we came back with pastels. Now remember, this is blurry, so we're always going to use pastel. And I used a new pastel stick. We just came in. Again, it's blurry. I'm not going to use a colored pencil. It's a blurry area. I'm going to use a stick. So I came back here, and with the sharp edge of a new pastel stick, I just made blurry fur, basically like this. Now here is a little brighter, so I made it a little more defined like this. And again here, it's a little brighter, not much, but a little. So I came in here and just made it a little brighter, a little more defined. Now watch yourself, this hair area ends here. It doesn't extend to here, it ends here. So you're going to stop here, and then you're going to start a new hair area here, right? And the new hair area here sort of goes in, so it starts kind of faded, and then we sort of go in, right? So it starts faded, and then we go into the bright. So we just do that with here, and again we just sort of merge this to where we have this hair area here. Now obviously we have the background over here with his leg, with her leg, his leg, and we just got it. Again, it's a blurry area, so we're just going to get, a pastel, not a black. I mean, it's far away. I'm just going to get a gray. Just come in like that and just make this. And then we came in here with a brighter pastel. Can you even see that? No. But we came in here with a brighter pastel and a pastel stick. And we made that, and then a pastel stick for the center, and then the edges we just used a colored pencil just to make it look like the whole area is really detailed. When it's not, we cheated, right? So that's pretty much basically it. Maybe a couple of very, very light touches over here just to give it sort of that hair texture. Light touches. Give it a little bit of the hair texture, maybe light touches. Give it some hair coming out here. Okay, so at this point, and we use red colored pencil for this. So at this point we need to start with the, pardon the noise, we need to start with the underlayer, which is going to be basically that, right? That brown. So we have a nice selection of browns from the Great American Pastel. I chose dark brown. So dark brown is what we're going to use. Dark brown is pretty saturated, and that's kind of what we need. So we're going to have to fiddle with it and figure out this dark section up here. Ooh, that looks so good. Okay, now if you'll notice in the reference photo, it's dotted. It's not all solid area, right? So you're going to make a dot with a super, super soft, milky, creamy pastel. You can make this dark area dotted, and then you're gonna mix up, maybe get a little bit of that super, super dark in there. Well, that's a hard pastel. Okay, get a little bit of that super, super dark area in there as well. So now we have this dotted area, and then we're gonna get our finger and we're just gonna blend it so it still has that dotted texture, but it's now solid. So we got a super, super soft pastel. We put dots, and we just blended it. Sorry about the middle finger. I'm not flipping you off, I swear. And we just blended it, see? So now it looks great. It looks great. And again, we're going to get this, make some more dots. And make some dots over here. So this is sort of dark underneath the kitty, right? It's obviously going to be dark. Again, we're just going to dot. And over here we have that dark area, just going to dot. Be careful, obviously. So now we're just going to dot. And we blend it because we're going to put more pastel on top. Okay, I want some of that super dark as well over here. So it's super, super dark because we're right under the kitty. It's going to be a good shadow. So again, we just make these little dots, and we're going to come back and blend it. And basically, we're just going to repeat this. Okay, so now that it's mashed in really well, you'll notice on the reference photo we got light dots on top of the dark dots. And that's going to be easy to do, right? We're going to get a lighter pastel. Let's find a lighter pastel, not white, but we want a super, super, you know, sort of a brownish. So we got like this. We can try with this and see. Again, we're just making little dots. We don't want a bunch of them. This is not a bright area, but we just want a few little dots with some other pastels. Here we go. And blend that in. Now we have that texture. That texture there. There we go. So now you have that texture. There we go. Okay, so we're going to repeat this. So as we come away from the kitty, it's going to get lighter. So we're going to have, like over here, this section is going to be fairly light, you know. We're going to have the lighter pastel on top, but this section is going to be fairly light. We're going to have a fairly light section over here, and within that light section, you know, we'll have a couple of darker dots maybe, and then we'll blend that out like this. Looks good. And you know, down here it's a little darker. A few darker dots. We don't want super detail. The last thing you want to do is make this so detailed that everybody stares at this and not the kitty. So, I mean, I'm just saying. We come in a few more darker dots, and then we're coming away from the kitty. We're going to sort of spread out these dark dots a little bit more. Make it lighter by making it more spread out. There we go. It gets a little lighter as we get away from the kitty. There we go. And then we can come back and put in a few of the darker dots, since we're still kind of in the shadow area over here. So you just want to fiddle with this until you're happy. Until it's happy. Sort of like happy trees, except it's happy dots, right? So we got happy dots. So we got happy dots coming down through here. These are relatively dark, and mix that with the other relatively dark here. Okay, cool. And a few more. I want to just get this a little darker around there, because that's a fairly dark area, like right here. Same thing with here. Cool. Okay. Blend all of that together, and as we come more layers, we press lighter when we blend. Press lighter as we get more layers in there, and then obviously we get the texture. Press pretty light with this. Get a little bit of that texture in there. All right, here we go. So again, we're just going to repeat this, and we're going to do the whole thing. And let me zoom out. Let me wipe my hand. Those pastels are super dusty. So pardon the sound. Okay, so yeah, that looks legit. That looks legit. So we're just going to repeat that. We're going to get the cushion in, and we'll come back. And I think we're done. So we got the whiskers from the cat. We drug, once we got the dark areas in here, we drug down some you know, some various colored pencil and pastel stick combos to make the hair come down. And then we put shadow underneath the paw, shadow underneath the cat. We came back again with this lighter stick, and we just sort of made a few marks and just sort of blending them in. And that made us that texture, you know, that texture of the blanket. And then overall, I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me, and if you have any questions about this process, let me know. But overall, I think we have a beautiful kitty, and it only took probably about 6 hours, maybe 6.5 hours. Anyway, thank you for watching.